I believe it's time for you to ditch Windows 11 and go ahead on and hop on Linux. What's up guys, it's Josh back with another video, and today I wanted to show you guys a super cool Linux distribution that looks exactly like Windows 11. And in my opinion, it's a distribution that's tailored towards new users that are trying to get off the Windows platform. Let's say you have an older computer that's right at the edge of not supporting Windows 11 and you barely got Windows 11 installed on it. Well, let me show you guys a distribution that's super cool. It's basically called Linux FX. And I'm sure if you're a Windows user, you would actually like this distribution. So let's hop over to the website so I can show you guys what it's all about. Alright, so I'm at linuxfx.org. So this is where you can actually get the distribution. And I went ahead and went to the spot where you could download the Windows 11 themed Linux FX distribution. And if you check out the website, they have documentation, you know, forum boards and all that stuff to help you transition to Linux FX if you want to try out this distribution. And the reason I came here, I just mainly wanted to show you guys the system requirements as well as a little bit of the features. And as you can see, it says run Android games and apps, you know, with the Play Store, as well as inherits a Windows 11 interface and contains graphic transition effects, contains graphic transparency effects, contains shader and blur. And the system requirements are a minimum of 2-core CPU with 2 gigabits of RAM. Now the recommended is actually a 4-core CPU with 4 gigabytes of memory, because this distribution is kind of heavy on the resources because it's like super themed to look exactly like Windows 11. So it's best to follow these system requirements in order for the system to run properly. And as you can see, the minimum disk requirement is a 30 gigabyte hard drive, which most people have that, have more than that. But the recommended disk space is 64 gigabytes and on an SSD. That'll allow it to run a whole lot better. And most people have SSDs in their laptops nowadays. If you have a kind of fairly new system, then you have a SSD in it. Now, if you're going to run it in a virtual machine, it's highly recommended that you install the guest drivers, and failure to install these components can cause various system errors, including resolution errors, performance errors, or issues, and various other errors among others. Because at the end of the day, this distribution uses a lot of resources and a lot of effects and transitions and all that stuff, so it'll be heavy on the virtual machine. So you have to have all the drivers installed in order for it to run properly. And this is just mainly to test it out, you know, if you're installing it in a virtual machine. But the recommended way to run this operating system is on the hardware itself. Now you can download this version, but they also have other versions. There's a Windows 10 theme, so this is Linux FS 11, the free edition Windows 10 theme. And then also they have a Linux FS Cinnamon edition, so it has a Cinnamon desktop environment with the Windows theming and all that good stuff on it. And they also have system recommendations or system requirements for each one of these. But the one we're going to install is the Windows 11 version, which looks super cool to me. You know what I'm saying? So let's go on and hop over. And then, before I move forward, I just wanted you guys to know that Linux FX, the Windows 11 theme one, uses the Plasma desktop environment. So let's go on and hop over to my virtual machine so we can check out Linux FX. All right, cool. So I had the virtual machine created, and we're going to go through the full process. First thing it's going to do is check the integrity of the ISO that we downloaded. So it'll go through that process, and then we should boot right in to the desktop environment or the live ISO. And there should be an install script, or it may go to the installer right away. I'm not 100% sure. This is my first time looking at this version, and I'm right. So it does pop up to the desktop environment, and let's go on and make some changes right fast to change the resolution right fast, and I believe this is where I can go. Let's see. No, let's go start, and then let's search for display settings, and this will allow us to make those changes. Yeah, display configuration, and hopefully we can get it in the right format so you guys can see this a whole lot better. So let's hit apply. There we go. All right, cool. So we have it set up properly so we can see the installer as we go through it. So as you can see, this is what it looks like, man. It's awesome. It looks just like Windows 11. You can't really tell that it's not Windows 11 because it pretty much looks exactly the same. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope that they put a lot of work into making this thing look exactly like Windows 11, and I believe this will help people transition from Microsoft Windows. So let's go down and hit the install script and go through the installer. Now I did this on, they had a Windows 10 edition of this, and it was pretty much the same. It looked just like Windows 10. I did that video about 2 years ago, and I'm sure they've done a lot of updates, you know, to this. Let's see what installer this is, and it is the Calamaris installer. So if you've watched my videos in the past, you know, most of the installers are Calamaris. This has 3.2.45 for Windows FX 11. So let's go down and close that and go through the install, and that was just selecting our language, the first one. Now let's select our location, which is, I'm on the West Coast, so it all depends on where you are in the US or across the world. You want to select that time zone, and so let's hit next there, because this is our keyboard setup, so we can click that. So select based on, you know, yours. I have a virtual hard drive of 64 gigs of space, and you want to select what drive you want to install it on, and basically I'm gonna erase the disk, and this will install the operating system. Now you can go in and actually manually partition the drive, but we're not going to do that. If you guys want to do that on your system, you can. Some people like to separate their home directory from their, you know, main partition, you know what I'm saying, and encrypt it. You can do that as well, but we're not going to mess around with that. I'm gonna just let it do the install the base way. So let's go down and hit next, and then let's create our first account, and let's name the virtual machine as well. And what I'm gonna do is name it Linux FX, and then let's go down and set us a password, right? Fast, super strong password. Boom. And then I never select log on automatically, you know, without asking for the password, and that's just a security feature. You kind of don't want to have your system come up, you know, and log right into the system, especially if you have personal files on it, because if someone steals your laptop, they'll have full access to everything. So let's go down and hit install, and it will start with the install process. As you can see, it kind of adjusted my resolution. Like I said, we're on that live ISO. I only did it that way, or I only changed it so we can run through the installer and you guys can see everything on the screen. But we'll wait until this thing finishes and I'll come back to you guys. All right, cool. So Windows FX 11 is completed with the installation. So last thing we need to do is restart the system, and we'll come up with it, and I'll walk you guys through actually looking at the operating system. And basically, if you've used the Plasma desktop environment, then this shouldn't be hard to pick up. It just kind of looks like Windows. That's really the only thing. It has the face of Windows. So I'll be back when it actually comes up. All right, cool. So I wanted to show you guys the actual login screen. That looks, you know, pretty similar to Windows 11. So let's log into it, and then I'll adjust the resolution so you guys can see it, you know, in full in a second. And that's cool. It automatically pulled up the configuration, you know, manager for our resolution. So let's go on and adjust that. Now it was automatically popped up as soon as I logged into it. So that's dope that that's actually there. And like I said, it's a free edition. I believe Windows FX or Linux FX, they have a paid edition which has, you know, more features or exclusive features on the system. but you can easily use the free edition. I'm not sure what those exclusive features are, so you might want to look into it. I'm gonna just cover the free edition. I don't want to knock it because I haven't paid for it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know exactly what's in it. It may be beneficial to somebody that wants to use this distribution as their daily driver. But that's what this notification is that just popped up. It's basically saying you can go and get the registered version at that website. But welcome to Windows FX 11. We now have some important settings to make, so let's go through this right fast. So we got system drivers for the correct functioning of the system. It may be necessary to install additional drivers, so you can do that right there. So by checking that, it's going to check for those additional drivers, and hopefully that doesn't take a while, because I didn't want to sit here for a very long time. All right, cool. So it says your computer requires no proprietary drivers, so we're good to go. So let's press OK. Now they do have a voice assistant. It's called Halloa, and it says Halloa voice assistant allows you to send commands and search the internet. To use the voice assistant, an initial setup is required. The Halloa voice assistant requires you to connect to your Google account to function. Okay, so it kind of leverages the Google account for that. I'm not gonna do it because, like I said, this operating system is most likely gonna get deleted once I finish this review, so we're not gonna set that up. So boom, they do have OneCloud, which I'm not gonna configure OneCloud because, like I said, I'm gonna delete this distribution once I finish this review. But you do have that option for anybody interested. So let's hit next. And so the setup is finished, so we're good to go. And essentially this is the Plasma desktop environment. And I know I keep saying that, but I just want to make sure you guys know. But let's hit OK right here because it wants to restart, so we're gonna restart, and I'll be back when it actually finishes. Like if you made any changes like to OneDrive and the Halloa voice assistant, then it needs to configure all that with a reboot. Okay, cool. So we have rebooted. Let's go down, log back into it, and hopefully it picks up what I set as the resolution and automatically expand the page. Yeah, and it did. Okay, cool. So it says Microsoft Windows.exe and MSI compatibility mode. So you can install it. I'm not gonna go through and install it because I just want to show you guys what the actual desktop environment kind of looks like. So similar to Windows 11. You click there and you can go through all your applications, and I kind of wanted to see all of the applications that come on here by default, so we can go through them right fast. Android file transfer, Amcrest web view, not sure what that is, but Antimicro, Autodesk, which is super cool, that's their Arc, that's for your archiving, Audacity. And the reason I'm going through all these applications is for people that are switching over from Windows. You may not be familiar with these applications, so I kind of want to explain what some of them are. Audacity, that's a music application. Backups, so you can set up your backups from here. Chat, Cheese is webcam, like kind of like the snapshot program, for your camera, for your webcam. You got Chromebook recovery utility, CID password changer. You can kind of ignore that, but Dolphin is the file manager. So, and as you can see, it looks just like Windows 11, somewhat. You know what I'm saying? So you got all your default folders there, your network locations. You can see what's on the network. And then as you open up files, they'll start showing up under here, recent files, recent locations. So it's not that difficult to figure out. So let's go back to the apps, but I think where I stopped is Dolphin emoji selector. So if you want that, Firefox, it comes with Firefox, and let's go down and open that up as well so we can see what version of Firefox it actually comes with. And let's hit that start menu again, and let's go in here and see what version we got on here. So if we go to help, I believe, and then about Firefox, and it has Firefox 92, so that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's cool that that's there. So let's go down and close that. Let's check out some more of these applications. So we got Firefox and Chrome. That's dope. And one cool thing, GIMP, I always like to see GIMP, which is the GNU image manipulation program. Allows you to edit photos. It's pretty much the equivalent to Photoshop, but for Linux, and it's free and open source. Firewall configuration, so you can go in there. Gported, this allows you to edit partitions on hard drives. So that's dope that that's there. You definitely need that, especially if you're working with a whole bunch of hard drives and all that good stuff. HTOP is always good to see. As we can see right now, the memory usage, and I'm not really doing much, is 752 megabytes. So, and I put, like I said, I put 8 gigs on here, and I also created an 8 gig swap, so that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But it uses, you know, without, you know, many applications where it's not running much on it other than the desktop environment and all the tools that go with it, but it's using about 755 megabytes. So that's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? I know others like XFCE, you can see it like using like 300 megabytes. If you have a, you know, a good copy or a good install of XFCE desktop environment on a pretty stable distribution. You know what I'm saying? So a little bit higher, but not too high. So let's go back into the applications. Let's see what else we got down here. I think I skipped Chrome. Yeah, Chrome. That's an image viewer right there. GwenView. Helloa. That's how you get to that voice assistant. And I'm sure you have to, you know, sign into your Google account in order to use that properly. But Inkscape, Info Center. So that's a way to see, you know, your hardware info. Kate is a text editor. And then KCalc, that's your calculator. KD Connect, so you can connect your phones. Kmail, for your email client. Kodi is on here. That's cool to see. And then the console. So let's check this out right fast, and run a uname -a and press enter. And it has kernel 5.11. So that's what it comes with, you know, by default. And I haven't updated this system yet. So I might have a bunch of updates, but I'm not gonna update it yet at the moment. I just kind of wanted to show you guys after, you know, the first install with no updates and all that good stuff. So okay, organize, you got your calendar, and it's probably finna start checking for our updates. It probably says, yeah, updates right there. So we do have updates available. But let's continue. You know what I'm saying? They got KTorrent, KWrite. We got our Microsoft calendar. That's dope. You know, it points to the online version. Microsoft Edge is installed, which I don't know if you guys know that, but you can install Microsoft Edge on Linux. They do have a package out there for it, so that's super dope. You got the online version, and I'm sure this is the Microsoft Office 365, but you know, Teams, and that looks like that may be activated if you get the full version of Windows FX. So Midnight Commander, not sure what that is, but Mousepad, you know, a text editor. OBS Studio, that's cool, you know, that's on there. OneDrive installed. Office Only Center, you got your other Office products, and let's go on it. But that's cool, they got the remote desktop client, so you can connect to Windows systems out there. That's dope that that's there. Steam, Spotify, Spectacle, and that's cool that they had the snipping tool, because on Windows you got your snipping tool. They actually use that same image for it, you know what I'm saying? So that's cool. System Monitor, Synaptic Package Manager is on here. Steam, Team Viewer, that's dope to see. Telegram desktop, so they do have that Telegram. They have a lot of, you know, applications that I didn't think to see on here, you know what I'm saying? But Time Shift, you know what I'm saying, you can back up, that's for your backups and stuff. And then ULauncher and Virtual Desktop and Visual Studio Player. VLC is on here, that's dope. Widgets, Windows FX settings. So, and then the updater, Wine Tricks, so we know that's on there. Xterm, so they do have that other terminal on here. So now let's go into the settings right fast, which we could have went to it, you know, any other place, but this looks like Windows 11 is dope. You know what I'm saying? You can go through and check out the system. It's pretty much gonna open up similar to any other Plasma, you know, system, and Windows 11. You know what I'm saying? And I think a while back I was saying that with Windows 11, it looks like they took Plasma, you know, for the settings menu. They took a lot of stuff from open source software in order to create their settings menu, which, you know, you might as well use the originator, in my opinion, which is Linux. But I'm not gonna go through all this. I mean, if you've used Plasma before, then you know it's not hard to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of wanted to cover it so you guys can see, but this is basically how you can get into all your settings. And it's an overall awesome distribution. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a little heavy on the resources, but not too bad. Actually, before I stop, let me go down and show you guys the software center so you guys can see how to install other software on here that you want. All you gotta do is open that up and you can go through and install whatever other software you want, you know. So, and then let's actually open this up so we can look at the updates. So you'll go through, run the updates. So it's got 900, and that's why, like I said, this is why I did not do any updates, because it's a whole bunch of packages, and I would have been sitting here all day trying to trying to update this system. You know what I'm saying? But it's awesome, and it's definitely worth you guys checking out if you're interested in a Linux distribution that looks like Windows 11. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave comments down in the comments below. And like I said before, go on and check this distribution out. That's the whole purpose of me doing these videos, because I remember when I first, you know, started using Linux, how hype I was about trying out different, you know, distributions. And I still have that, you know, feeling, especially with all these updates and new versions coming out, new long-term support releases coming out, you know, all that good stuff. I get like super hype about it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you probably feel the same way once you start getting into Linux. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and of course, keep it techie.